Hey, where's Ryan?
I think he's in the bathroom, bro. Oh, hey, bro.
That was good, man.
Hey guys, what's going on? So I got the one guy that top 16 UDS with his random BA danger deck. Let's see what he played.
Is that the name? That's the name they put on the feature match, right?
Yeah, danger
BA.
Bangers.
I think there's like less than 25% of those cards in this deck. But alright, I played at the UDS Indianapolis, had low expectations. I've gone to Tennessee Nats playing essentially the same deck for like the last couple of bits. And I think just like everything else being neutered made this deck so much stronger. You know, Salmon Great not having like Gazelle, 3 Circle, everything like that, being able to do like, because like at Nats, like the best board I ever played through was double Veiler, Dweller, and Phantasme, and I ended on Boral Sword, Avermax, and a card that will be soon said. That's absurd and should be once per turn. Anyway, on with the deck profile. The thing that makes, I guess, Burning Abyss, or why people would call it Burning Abyss, is it does play Tour Guide. This card obviously is absurd because if you sit there with your hand and everything like that and you think about all your plays and you summon this, making it seem like it's a really impactful play, people will usually hand trap it because not many people know what this deck does because it's just kind of really off the wall and all the combos it does. So like they recognize a common card and they're like, okay, Tour Guide, I'm going to Veiler, Impermanence, Ash, anything that. And I'm just like, sick. Reveal Gallus, reveal Danger, Stomach Psychic Tracker, Stomach Psychic Wielder, and it makes their hand trap so much less impactful. They think they're doing something they're not, and it's just so good. And then even if it does go off, it's still just really good. But the fact that I can just bait out hand traps and just be so powerful is just one of my favorite things about the card. I did open it some games. I think I just had such a low chance of opening it, but you're gonna find this deck really ignores probability in like the worst way possible. So we'll continue on with it. For Burning Abyss monsters, it's, you know, the best 2 right here, Graphs here, which really help your combos. These 2 are essentially just like concessions. Like this is essentially to help break boards if I do lose a die roll, which I lost most of my die rolls, which was unfortunate because I was playing a going first deck. But you know, the deck's really strong. The deck has a ton of gas, so I can play through so much stuff. I played Libic just because, you know, playing 4 Burning Abyss in a 43 card deck, you're obviously going to see 2 in your opening hands, like I always do. So you know, you just have to play Libic. I will admit sometimes I did usually just side it out just because it is just like it's me trying to prepare for a possible brick where I can capitalize on my Cherubini play. But that's literally it for the Burning Abyss lineup, and you know it may be disappointing at this point that there's only 4 Burning Abyss, but the deck I hope will impress and keep a lasting opinion because it's more than Burning Abyss, a lot more than Burning Abyss. And I'll say this as well. One of the big things that hit me playing, I think, back in the beginning of last season is that Burning Abyss really isn't Burning Abyss, and I don't think it'll ever return to being Burning Abyss. Like, Dante was an end piece in standard Burning Abyss decks, and now it's just a step. It's a step in a chain of just linking and linking and linking. So, sadly, I don't think Burning Abyss will ever really truly be a deck anymore unless the format goes so slow that somehow a Beatrice Pass will be good enough, or maybe there's just some combo out there I just don't see. But I'm more of a fan usually of combo decks anyway, so I'm probably ignoring it. Anyway, 2 Rhino Warrior. I do play targets for these, which is in the form of obviously the 5 monsters right here. You're never really gonna send Tour Guide, but the Sulkius and the Edgem Sabers. So I will give a big shout out to my friend Alejandro. I sent him the list. There he is. Yeah, do that Apex Legend dance. Yeah, dude. Apex Legends! Apex Legends! Alright, anyway. I will give a shout out to him. I sent him the list, and he was like, yo, why are you not playing this card? And ever since I put it in, it's so funny too, because I have a stack of all cards that like relate to Burning Abyss, so I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll try it. Go through the stack, and I'm like, immediately it's just right there. And I'm like, yeah, sure, dude, I'll try it. Because I originally had another card in here as well. It was called Chaos Betrayer, where I just banished a Light and Dark from Graveyard and summon him. He's a level 6. Also, there we go. Thank you so much. Shout out Logan. I mean, Sebastian. Shout out Sebastian. I'm horrible with names. If I forget your name during an event or anything like that, or don't know your name, I'm so sorry. I'm horrible with names. But I was playing Chaos Betrayer originally, which would just make Beatrice so easily because you'd be able to like send this with Rhino, And later in your combo, if you drew the soft Saryuja, you just like send this off to with Sulkius, summon Sulkius, then immediately, because I also play Curious, which is a light, and then a bunch of darks, which are the dangers, I'd just be able to banish a light and dark, summon this, make Beatrice, and Beatrice would just be like another combo piece because it was made the correct way, so I could send anything I needed. So I could essentially get 2 Curious effects per turn. It was really good, but sadly, these cards just kind of break. And I did cut the Chaos Betrayer, and I did kind of like streamline the deck a little bit more. I was running a little bit more cards, and I'll show you that later as well. But I think moving forward, this will come out, and I think this will just stay in because this is so much more of an impactful card. And this just, I don't know, it's maybe not needed as much anymore. I'll have to figure it out because I did side this out a lot, at least trying to go second, just because I didn't really need to see it. But that's it for all the Fiend type monsters. And then Gallus, the favorite card to mill, in my opinion, probably the best card to mill off this card is probably Sekka's Light. I always say that from experience. I'm joking, of course, but it got to the point during the event where people were like, bro, you should main 2 Sekka's Light, or 1 Sekka's Light, or just stop playing Sekka's Light, because there's so many times in matchups where I need Gallus to like resolve, and I'd biff it. I'd biff it horribly. And there's one time I was in time against Max Reynolds, and I go, I'm like sitting there so cocky. I think this is round like 3. And I go, Gallus, Sekka's Light. And I'm like, yeah, be kidding me. So I'm like, screw it. I'm going to just turbo through my deck. I'm going to try and draw a Gallus. And I milled 1 Gallus. And at this point, by the time I made my 3rd Saryuja, still no last Gallus. So I end up drawing against him. And then later in the tournament, going on to day 2, I had a time where a judge was called because, I don't really want to get into this guy's just scummy guy, scummy player. But this wouldn't have been an issue because I left him at 300 light points, and if my Gallus, I hit 2 Sekka's Light during that matchup, and my Gallus would have just hit a monster, his ruling question, or his dispute, would not have been an issue. So like, if this card would have just hit any monster in my deck, it would have been fine. And then another time too, I was in time against a kid. He was playing awesome player, really respect him. He's a really talented young player, 100%. What was it?
Matthew McRae.
Yes, like I said earlier, I'm horrible with names. I'm so sorry, but absolutely talented player, playing an awesome deck. And I go, he makes his full board of his Goki Orcus combo, and he has Crescendo set. And we go into time on my turn because there's like 30 seconds left when he ends his turn. And I get into main phase 1, and I'm sitting in my hand, I'm like, dude, I got double Gallus. Like, this is fine. Like, I have the bait for Crescendo. All I have to do is just not hit Sekka's Light. So I go activate Gallus, and he's like, I have to negate that Crescendo. I'm like, Gallus. Sekka's Light, throw my hand on the table. Fuck. So angry. Absolutely angry. But I just couldn't believe it. Just couldn't believe how like often it's happened to me. But in all honesty, this card's an incredible card. And people have been joking around with me. It's like, yo, what if you did this to play around Sekka's Light? I still think moving forward, I think it's still incorrect to try and play around milling that. Because, like, I think we ran the odds in some of it. It's like 7% chance, 6% chance, something like that. And it's just, it's so improbable. But it happens. And when it happens, it sucks. And you just got to try and play through it. But the card's absolutely incredible. The burn damage, the fact that it's a level 3, the fact that it's an Earth, the fact that it's a different typing than most of the cards in your deck because you don't play any beasts except Jackalope, which will make your Curious play, is incredible. Sorry, I'm like rambling at this point. And I play 2 of the Psychic guys. I play 1 of each because they are once per turn, and the fact that they're also Earth is just incredible. So if they're milled, they're fodder for Block Dragon, which obviously at this point I play. Level 3, just absolutely incredible cards. Like I said, Summon Tour Guide, negate, sure, Summon Tracker, powerful. And then a card I wasn't playing at Tennessee and Nats. Where was Nats? Pittsburgh? Yeah, Pittsburgh. I was playing these cards, and I didn't realize beforehand that they were a 1-card Cherubini, just completely ignorant. And shout out to my friend John West for mentioning that to me, and it's changed the deck a lot. And because making your 1-card combos, like there's a benchmark goal for me whenever I do my combos, where I always shoot to have 2 cards at least in hand when I make my first Saryuja. So if I'm making it with a Block Dragon Dante with C underneath, I will be ending my hand off to the first Saryuja resolution at 6 cards, with a Saryuja and Dante on field with a Block Dragon engraved. Excuse the coughing, my friend has rabies. So Mathematician is awesome. Obviously, this isn't the only worthwhile target. You play a ton of targets that are just so worthwhile. I do only play 1 Lion just because I don't want to see more of it. I've thought of, the banished normal summon effect. You know, shout out to my other friend Bobby. He says he's an absolute master of a deck builder, and he's giving me some idea. There we go. I'm not sure he wanted to be featured, but oh well. He's an absolute master of a deck builder. He has a lot of ideas for me going forward. I've already given him my list, and hopefully he can improve upon it and make this better. But here we go. Here's some extra cards that are kind of cheeky. Dotscaper, absurd. One of my favorite plays with this guy is going Saryuja effect to special this, and then summoning like Gigantus or just Gallus, anything like that. And then making my Curious, so it automatically chain blocks Curious, because Curious can be chain link 1, Dotscaper chain link 2. So you're getting double value out of Dotscaper in one turn, and it's really, really awesome, and it's such a great card. The fact that it mills, summons, banish, summon, anything summon is great. Glowpulp, shout out to FIBA, letting me borrow this beautiful, beautiful card. First Ed, what is this? German money, stop Sebastian Sanchez. No, thank you. Shout out to my friend. It's so many people also have lent me so many cards with this deck. Also, shout out Luis Torres. He lent me the Gallases. He's been helping me test this deck for so long now. He's one of the original people who helped me realize like the power of this deck, and I'll give an absolute huge shout out to him. But it's absurd. I make that piece, and Sky Striker can't play. And I'll even go a step further sometimes and make B-Cop with 2 darks, with different names of course, and tribute a Block Dragon, target that piece, so they can't ogre it. So it's even better. But sadly, I wish I could play more of all these guys. I wish I could play one more. I feel like the deck would be so much more powerful, so much more consistent. And like I did find replacements for these cards, and they have turned out pretty well, but I would always be siding these out. So like I put in the clowns, because you know I'm always clowning. Like shout out Logan Todd. I mean Sebastian Todd. Excellent person to clown around with. Always clowning me, I'm clowning him back. But I had one really cool play where I was in time against, once again, Max Reynolds. And like I'm sitting there like all cocky about what I'm about to do because I already have Hat Trigger on field, and I mill Trick Clown, and I'm like, Trick Clown summon. People are like, what is he doing? He's about to burn for 1,000. I'm like, Hat Trigger effect, put a counter. Don't worry, I drew that match anyway. This whole entire point was irrelevant. But these cards are really cool. You mill this, excellent. If you mill this, excellent. You get a Surge. They're pretty good. They're pretty good substitutes. But like I said, I was finding myself siding them out, and there was only one time I wish I kept them in, and that's when my opponent went Scarlight on me. I wish I would have kept these in, so I could have just negated Scarlight. But it didn't matter anyway because I ended up winning in time.
Did you ever want to play more dangers, like Mothman or like Chupacabra or anything?
I thought of those cards, and I used to play Chupacabra. I used to play Chupacabra just as a third Nessie, and just because I just didn't have a third Nessie, and just Chupacabra was just so bad.
Those are level 3s.
Huh?
Those are level 3s.
What, these
you
guys?
You made Charity with them.
Yeah, but like the fact that Chupacabra would be in there just to revive and everything like that, it was just, it never came up. I would open hands with it, and it'd get hit. It'd get sniped, and I was just like, this is horrible. So I'd rather just have something like Ironclad, like these cards, that can always get me where I need to go. Chupacabra is not a guarantee of anything. And that's like the worst part about it. Mothman, the same thing. Like I don't want my opponent to get, like, I'm literally just giving my opponent Dark World dealings. They get a free draw, they get a free discard. That's absurd in this format, so why? Definitely not. Not a fan. I don't need the rank 4s, so it's not for me. Giant Rex, Earth, Dinosaur, Curious, different typing, excellent, amazing, or absolutely amazing for banishing it. 3 Gigantes. Shout out to one of my round opponents who I was using Player's Choice sleeves, and the sleeves were so crappy that he was able to split a Gigantus in half. So when I got into top 16, I had to go find a Gigantus, and I was absolutely worried about getting disqualified because who the hell has this card? Shout out Logan. Shout out Logan Todd. Shout out Logan Todd. The actual Logan Todd for having Gigantes in a trade binder. In a trade binder.
Hey, they're gonna need it now.
Yeah, no, seriously. Shout out to the people who passed over Gigantes and said, no thanks, I don't need that card. Yeah, these cards are actually amazing. This card does, like, it's a 1900 beater that can blow up all back row on destruction, or battle destruction. It does things like that for no reason. There's so many weird cards that just do things for no reason. This is one of them, but there's a target for Block Dragon. Including in the targets is Fossil Dino. And most of the people really, like, I love seeing eyes pop open wide when I search this card. And it's even better, too, when I special it off of Saryuja. Because they're like, you can special that? And I'm like, why can't you? and they read the card, they're like, oh. So one of
This
my
is foreign.
yeah no it's English. Yeah, my block dragons are one English. I like a lot of mismatched things. German, Spanish, shout out John West. English, he got me this and got me onto the trend because these look so much better than the English ones. Yeah, block dragon, not once per turn, can stop all destruction of rock type monsters except by battle, and then it can search up to 3 rock type monsters total level equal 8. Which at one point I was searching 3 monsters, and I can show that combo a little bit later to show the cards I was searching and why I was searching them. But for now, it's really just going to be these 2 cards, unless this card mills or gets milled or anything like that. Then it's any combination of 2. And so that's it for like the block dragon. This card's absolutely absurd. Not once per turn. I summon it at least 5 or 6 times per turn. Just crazy combo. 2 Destrudo. Like I said, I like mismatch things. Destrudo is an absolutely absurd card. I think one of my favorite plays throughout the tournament was like this absolutely ridiculous play. I had to get my combo started where I go normal summon damage juggler, Destrudo target damage juggler, summon psychic tracker, make Cherubini, and then I had I think a living in hand. But the fact that this card can just modulate its levels so often and so necessary, or whenever I need it, it's just incredible. Pay out my life points, that's a little steep, and usually going into game 3 I'll usually side it out just because I don't want to be tempted by it. But the fact that I can summon out Sulkius, target Glow Bulb, usually Glow Bulb by the end of the combo, make this 6, make Beatrice, send something I need, is just so incredible. And then the card that I love hitting off Gallus, just absolutely game breaking. Sekka's Light. It's a combo deck. It seems necessary. It seems needed. I don't really know what I would change for this card. It's Sekka's Light. It's an absurd card. That's it for the main deck, and that's 43 cards. So, moving on into the extra deck. Shout out Tori, most broken anime character from Yu-Gi-Oh series. Token. Let's see. So I guess I'll start out with the Burning Abyss cards, and that is Dante, Beatrice, and Cherubini. I wasn't often making this because I did cut the card that would be good for it. I made this. This is a starter every single game. I would always start with these cards, every single time, and it's just so powerful. This card does 3 things, and that makes it broken. Dante's broken, not once per turn, anything like that. The add back effect, because when you make your Saryuja, you're getting a free card from the graveyard, so you're essentially getting a free draw off Saryuja because you're immediately just putting back your Burning Abyss monster. So this card's insane. Dante's pretty good. Beatrice, I don't want to target, so please don't kill Beatrice. Then for other Link 2 monsters is B-Cop. I already mentioned this. B-Cop, Cerberus, and Phoenix. These seem really standard. This is awesome. That's an Earth. So Earth Fiend, so different typing for your Curious play. Speak of the Devil, Curious. I'll probably call it for the Link 2s. Curious, this card is amazing. Not really much to say about it. Usually most of the time I'll be sending, if I don't have Block Dragon yet, I'll send Block Dragon. If I don't have Glow Bulb, I'll send Glow Bulb. I'll send Giant Rex, you get the picture. I send anything I need it to be. Other rank 3, pretty much MVP of the day. I played against 3 or 4 Sky Strikers, I'm pretty sure 3. This card, if you attack over their Sky Striker monster, this activates its Chainlink 1, and if they have Ray engraved, that'll be Chainlink 2. This guy does not target, so they summon the Ray, you banish the Ray. And if you make it with Block Dragon or Nessie, which is super easy to make, they can't target it, and they can't destroy it by card effects. It's absolutely absurd.
Way better triple burst.
Yeah, absolutely better triple burst in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure I did cut triple burst for that card. 3-star Yuja. I was getting a lot of ideas beforehand. I literally had 2 deck lists in my hand when I went to go sign up. It was going to be 2-star Yuja and just like the 1 unicorn, Nightmare Unicorn. But I always just played with 3-star Yuja because in earlier builds I needed all 3-star Yuja, and this did actually come up throughout the day. I was sometimes like making 3-star Yuja, and I'd rather it just be there than just a card that I'm not sure I would really need. So 3-star Yuja, really powerful. Boral Sword, OTKs, don't need to explain. Nappies, free wins. Avermax. So this is like the icing on the cake when I make my end field, because a lot of things people forget. Like this caught a lot of like the Dragon deck players off guard, is because it'll be this, and like the Saryuja up top, but that's irrelevant. It'll be like these 3 monsters, and they're like, they'll either remember one of these effects but not both, and it's the funniest thing ever because they'll summon like Reclusia to like Saryuja by their normal summon. They'll be like, oh, I'll just pop Dinah, and I'm like, you can't. rock type monsters can't be destroyed by card effects. They're like, oh, okay. Then other people will be like, okay, summon a monster, attack over Dyna. I'm like, you can't attack Dyna. They're like, why not? I'm like, Avermax, you can only target him for attacks. So like, oh, I thought I had plays. I'm like, yeah, I know, you're sitting there wasting my time, but that's neither here nor there. But this field is amazing, searchable. This card is unfair. So yeah, it's amazing. And then a card I'll give a shout out to Jason Rojo. I was not thinking of playing this card, and this is like, God, 4 or 5 months ago when he gave me the suggestion, because I was like, shit, what do I do if my Dyna gets like milled or something? And I'm like, oh yeah, duh, banish it and summon it. It's just so good. But yep. So that's it for the extra deck. And then side deck, 3 Panker Tops. This side deck is, I think, probably the most boring part of this whole entire deck. The card choices were not ridiculous. There's nothing spicy in here. It's literally just, 3 Phantasmate. Shout out to my bent one that I bent at first round of YCS Atlanta. Shout out John West for the other 2. Shout out Joe Yen for the no material. Sphere Mode, Twin Twister. Shout out my top 16 match where I only drew one of my Panker Tops and a Twin Twister and completely bricked. But, siding this in for Dragon and shit like that. Same with this. I never really saw any of my side cards. I would always be siding 8 or 9 cards at all times. I would never see any side cards. So it was unfortunate. But that is pretty much it for the deck. Here's a stack right here. This is also, since I don't think I'm gonna go Portland, I don't think it's feasible by any means. I'm pretty much just gonna throw this deck out into the aether and see what other people can come up with. That was never a card played. There's this right here. Exteria. Oh wait, there's a second stack of cards. Maybe it's in here. Yeah, here we go. This is definitely feasible, and it's even better too, in my opinion. You just have to risk bricking with these 2 cards. Wear off your block dragon. You can just search these 3. These 3 are these 3 if this card's already gone, and then you just immediately, like I said, same with the Burning Abyss monster you had, you just immediately just put this back. So you're getting 2 free cards, and your start use of them will be after resolution 7 cards, and then you can make this by attributing this in that piece. And I mean, how many people can out Exteria? So really powerful. Block Dragon, a friend gave me these, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? They're ulti. I'll mess around with it. I never. Not once. Triple Burst, this was in there, and it got cut. I like the BLS guy so much more, and I still stand by that choice. I should Block Dragon because I'm a baller like that. Chaos Betrayer, like I said, it was originally in there. Cut it just for consistency issues. Card Trooper, those were mathematicians, and I was like, why don't I just go for something that is just so much more powerful and so much more impactful. Revival Golem, it was there when I would mill it and it would just be so powerful. I could send it off Beatrice, and if I got screwed over and didn't have any more Gigantes left in deck, I could search this card if I really need to, then immediately just put it back. Birdman, it was good sometimes. If I went Birdman or Gallus Birdman, I was like, it felt so good. But it needed to get cut. Like I said, the Chupacabra, and then that's pretty much it for the thinking space for this deck. I know one of my friends has another wild version of this, but yeah. So, any questions?
Any shoutouts?
A million, absolutely a million. So absolute biggest shout out to my Yu-Gi-Oh fam. I would not be the player I am today. I would not have all the cards I have today without all of you guys. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I'll shout out Javier Soto, Brian Cutts, even though he doesn't play anymore, Sammy Ramirez, Luis Torres, thank you for having the cards. I'll even shout out Julian for being a fucking clown all the time. Fibo, of course, John West, even though sometimes you can be real stingent about your ideology. A little stick in the mud, but it's all good. I'm just messing around. It doesn't have Alistair in it, so it's not going to be good. Shout out to that man's Yu-Gi-Oh career. Alistair will never be good again. I'm kidding. He probably actually had a build in the works. Let's see, moving forward. Shout out Logan Todd. Shout out Alejandro. Shout out Nick Ortiz, aka my little brother. Shout out Logan Todd. Shout out Sebastian Sanchez.
You said Logan twice.
I did.
I appreciate it.
The other Logan Todd. The one with only one D. Shout out Bobby Kenny. That's the man right there. The third. God, I must be forgetting people. There's so many people who have helped contribute. Shout out Jason Rowe. Shout out Michael Petrolia. Glad to see you're back in the game. Like I said, thank you. Joe Fisher, El Pescado. Shout out Joe Fisher. Like I said, absolute thank you from the bottom of my heart. I have one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh communities, and this game is so toxic, so crappy to play, such a die roll format, everything like that. And I don't think I would be playing right now if I didn't have the people to play with. So I absolutely thank you guys for putting up with my bullshit constantly. Thank you guys for letting me be a clown all the time. Thank you for letting me be almost sometimes way too much of a toxic person to deal with. But thank you guys so much.
All right, thanks for the deck
thank you.
profile.
Yeah, no worries.
Hey, where's Ryan?
I think he's like in the bathroom.
Why are you